Hello everybody! Today is going to be a little bit of a different video because I'm going to do my first review ever. And no, it's not sponsored, I just want to share my opinion about the Grayl Geopress Water Purifier. And the reason why I want to do a review about this is because these bottles are not cheap. And at least before we purchased, we had lots of questions if it really works and if it's worth our money. So now that we're traveled with this thing for 5 months, I think we're in a good position to tell you if we like it or not. And as I mentioned, this bottle is a water purifier, not only a water filter, which means, and now I need to read because it's a lot, that it removes 99.99% of all viruses, like rotavirus, norovirus, hepatitis A. It removes 99.9999% of bacteria, like salmonella. It removes protozoa, 99.9%, but it also filters particulates like microplastics, chemicals like chlorine, and different heavy metals like lead and arsenic. So sounds quite useful for traveling, doesn't it? And it's also supposed to improve taste and smell, which for me as an Austrian is very important because I grew up in Tyrol. I had fresh, clear spring water out of the Alps directly in my tap at home. So as soon as there is some kind of chlorine or anything in the water, I'm immediately able to sense it. Let's quickly talk about how to use it. All you have to do is to separate the inner part of the bottle from the outer part. The inner part has the filter at the bottom, and the outer part is the one that you fill with water from the tap, from the river, from the lake, wherever. And there is a little mark here that shows the fill line, which is a little bit hard to see, but I found that at least with our bottle, I always put my finger there where the mark is, and then it's actually easier to see when I fill it. And one thing you have to be a little bit careful about is cross-contamination. So you should make sure that the water, the dirty water from out here, does not get in touch with anything inside of this bottle. Outside it's okay, but on the inside you should be very careful. And before you're able to press down, you should make sure that the little arrow here on the cap points to the green. If the arrow points to the red point here, then it's sealed, so you cannot really press it down. And then you just insert the parts into each other and press down. And we usually do that on the floor, and we just lean on it with our body weight. In the beginning, it takes around 8 seconds to filter the water, but obviously the more clogged the filter gets, the slower it will be. And they say when the press takes around 25 to 30 seconds, then it's time to replace this filter. And on our model, one of those filters should be good for 350 presses or 250 liters, which I believe is 65 gallons. But I guess it depends on the quality of the water. We mainly use it for tap water, but I would assume if you filter lots of dirty water that this will clog up much faster. But no, you cannot filter salt water, unfortunately, and you cannot filter your own pee with it, which I'm not sure that I would, but in an emergency, who knows. But don't try, doesn't work. So once you pressed it down, the water is already purified and it's ready to drink. So now I have 2 tips for you. The first one is that many people complain about it leaking in airplanes. They address that in their manual. And basically they're saying that you should travel with it either all the way full or all the way empty. And all the way empty is not just pouring out the water, the drinking water. In this part, there is also some water. So make sure to pour it out as well. And lastly, there is usually also some water here in the filter. So what we do is we press it 2 or 3 times empty, and then all the water from the filter gets into here and we pour it out. And then we're actually fine and we never had any trouble with leakage anywhere whatsoever. And another thing we want to address, because it happens to us regularly, when you press down, just make sure that you press straight and you press with a constant pressure, because otherwise this thing will squirt all over the place. This bottle is really quite an investment. I think we paid around 100 euros for it, plus each cartridge comes in at around 30 euros. So if you compare it to buying water in a supermarket, probably we don't save much money, even if we save any money at all. But just the comfort of knowing that we can get drinking water anywhere and we don't have to carry bottles around is very, very nice for us. We're using this bottle on and off now since 5 months, and we are still on our first cartridge. So far we're quite happy with this. One thing I really don't like too much about this thing is that it's so bulky. It's only 700 milliliters of water, which I think is 24 ounces of water. But this thing is big and it's heavy. Even when it's empty, it's around half a kilo. So my husband really deserves every award in the world for carrying this thing with him. They also released a smaller version of this, but for us personally, the bigger capacity is worth it. And with the smaller ones, they also do less presses with each cartridge. So I think this one can filter up to 250 liters of water, and the smaller version only 150 liter water. So we just refill our regular water bottles. My husband has a dedicated one. I just use empty Coca-Cola bottles or anything you get while traveling. So our final verdict is that we are very happy to have this thing with us on these trips. And I wish there was a smaller version, but other than that, we really like it. So if you want to see more videos about minimal travel, I will link my whole playlist here. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!